Okay, hello and happy Friday and Good Friday to all. Thanks for hanging out with us here today in your journey with Jennie. Ask Me Anything. I told you guys it's really just turned into let me ask all of my friends who are super smart and doing cool things in their businesses what they're doing, and then I get to share it with you guys. So this will be recorded and I'll share it for later as well. But I wanted to feature the Davis team, Jordan Davis and Valencia. Valencia, your role is director of lead gen. And so I know you have a pretty important role, but first, Jordan, I want to start with you. Let's just hear a little bit about your team and how you got into the biz and how you guys have grown so much over these last years.
Absolutely. So yeah, Jenny, you were actually one of the first conversations I had getting into the business. We talked about that the other day when we saw each other. So I've been licensed for 7.5 years. I'm from Bethany, Oklahoma, and went to Texas A&M. But other than that, I didn't. Some Oklahoma love. But other than that, I didn't have a family in real estate. I wasn't even really from here. I had some family here in the DFW Metroplex. So I literally started from the ground up with not a lot from a database standpoint, and grew business through open houses. After about 2 years, I started a team and success through others. One of the first people that came into my world was Valencia, who was the pastor who married us, his daughter. And she came right out of Texas Tech, and I knew I was sitting across the table from talent, but I had no idea what to do with her. So we just kind of gave her a phone book and access to start working on a real estate license, and said, just start, I don't know, calling people. And so she did just that. And she did some admin stuff for us at the beginning when we were building and growing, and then took over and now has taken on an ISA role that she's been in for about 3 years. Our team will do 250 transactions this year. We did 210 last year for 60 million in volume. And yeah, 250 will be about 75 million in volume. And we're growing. We went from 4 agents to 12 outside agents last year. And our team sets approximately 80 appointments a month. And that is primarily led and coached by Miss Valencia, who I wanted to bring on today to talk about what that looks like. And we just added a lot with online lead conversion. And so Valencia has coached and worked hard on, how do you convert those online conversations that don't know you from Adam and are probably getting called by 5 other realtors? And how do you get them to set an appointment that keeps? Because that is the key. She doesn't get paid until it closes. And so not only is it setting, it's keeping, signing, setting those expectations, and then making that fluid through the agent. So whether you're an individual agent setting your own appointments, or you're an ISA setting appointments for somebody else, this is really important too. How do you convert a conversation and then get it to an appointment that keeps all the way to the table so that the agent can come in and do their job?
Well, that's so key, because I think that over the years, all of us rainmakers, team leads of our own teams, we struggle with that. How do we make sure we're making the number of dials that we need to be making, and that appointments are set, and that listings are taken, and that they get to the closing table? I mean, the phone calls is what it all starts with, and we run out of time because we're too busy. So I love how we've always worked through what's the best way to do it. So how, Valencia, you can even share this. I mean, how did you realize that you love this rather than being in the field and being an agent yourself? Clearly you would have the skills and the talent, but how did you discover that this was your gig and this was your baby?
Of course, one of the really big reasons, my why, is I have a couple of people that run behind me and call me mommy. So that was really important to have a set schedule for them and not be away nights and weekends, being an outside agent. And being an inside agent, another thing I really love, Jenny, is the fact that each phone call is different. You never get to talk to the same personality 2 times in a row. It is awesome. And I love the challenge. It's like playing Russian roulette. You never know who's going to pick up the phone. What mood will they be in? What crazy objection are they going to give you? I just love the excitement of it.
So you must have the kind of behavioral style that really gets fueled through people and also accomplishment. So I'm just feeling that you care about people because you're excited for the opportunity to talk to them. So what do you think are some of your skills that allow you to love this role, so we can look for them?
I don't know, just being on all the time. Like you said, I like talking to people. I like learning new things and diving deeper with people. That's actually one of the really big things to convert an internet lead is, yeah, call them in the first 5 minutes, but we also want to establish that rapport. So seeking to understand, why are they up at 3 a.m. looking at houses in Bethany? Why is that important to them? So diving deeper and just learning about the person so I can ensure that whatever agent they get paired with, it can be a smooth transaction for everybody involved.
So I'm going to go back to Jordan real quick before we dive into exactly what you're saying. But Jordan, as her leader, as you know, the person that helps hold her accountable and help her achieve her goals, and which relate to the team goals, you know, what are you ensuring that she nails every single day? Are you in conversation all the time? What does that look like?
Well, we have weekly accountability, and first and foremost, I want her to know what is winning, what are her goals. And Jennie, you and I share a coach, Jordan Freed, and one day he asked me if Valencia gets to the end of the month and she's hit, what is it that she's had to hit to know that she's won the game? And it really made me realize, like, we call and call and call, but sometimes we don't define winning. And so we redefined for her what that winning looks like in her numbers. So she needs to have clarity on her numbers of what winning and hitting her goals will look like and what that will pan out to financially. And then additionally, we have to clear the plate so that she has an environment that is conducive to her success. And so that means for us giving Valencia her own office. And, you know, there's 20 of us, and sometimes there's 8 of us packed in an office. But it's so imperative that we set the standard, or we set the environment for her to be able to reach her goals, and anything is a distraction. And so we try to eliminate distractions as much as possible for Valencia, unless we absolutely need that director of lead gen coaching, training. And she coaches and trains our team. She also has coaching clients that she works with as well, that she coaches, but making sure when she is on her task, her time on task is very efficient and focused. And so protecting and preserving that time is big as well.
Okay, one more leader question for you. When you first got her in this role, I mean, you hadn't been an ISA before. You didn't, other than just what we do every day as real estate agents. So where did you send her to learn how to do this? Or did you personally train her? Where did she get her scripts? Like all of that stuff.
Yeah. So one of the first things that we did was we studied under Lance Loken and the Loken Group, who had an ISA program. We asked them a ton of questions. What are your lead measures? What are your lag measures? What is success in this role? What are some ways that you've found that people fail out of this role and why? And what are ways that people have been just wildly successful and why? And so then we emulated that in Valencia's environment. Additionally, for scripts, we've been through Bold. We've been through language of sales, even train the trainer. And all those things are incredible training tools that Keller Williams has that have helped equip her to do her job better and be more influential. Every word matters when you're on the phone, right? And so every word we use matters, and that's allowed her to be more successful in that role. And then additionally, we put her in coaching with Anna Kruger, who coached her on skills and inside sales agent, what conversion is, how to set appointments that keep, et cetera. So she's had a good amount of coaching to enable her and equip her to be successful. We didn't just hire an ISA, stick her in a room with a phone book and forget her. I mean, maybe the first 6 months, but then eventually we got better, right?
Yeah, we're always learning and growing every single day. All right, so this is Valencia. What in the world do you say? Well, let me back up. Like, who are you calling? What does this look like? Tell me what your day looks like.
Of course, we call any and everybody. Basically, if you have a pulse, we might call you. We get a lot of internet leads. A lot of them, we circle prospect, we call for sell by owners, off market, and withdrawn. And every conversation we have typically starts the same way, with building rapport. It's a whole lot easier to gain that trust, to get someone to change or to make a move once we understand why they even want to do it. So with building rapport, we want to seek first. We want to seek first to understand what's important to them. Why are they up, looking at houses? Why do they even want to move to Bethany? What is it that's going on? Second, we always want to listen. And it seems like a lost art, but it's extremely important. And remember the acronym WAIT. Why am I talking? wait. As a licensed real estate agent, we're so quick to tell all of the cool things we know. Here's this about this contingency or a lease back, or you could do this with this down payment and this interest rate. That's really cool. And it's awesome that you know it. But as a lead, they don't want to hear it right now. They don't want to know all of those things. It's easy to go a lot further once you understand what motivates somebody, understanding their why. Then we want to wait. And our third step in building rapport is to validate. We've all heard the customer is always right. That's no different when it comes to real estate. We want to validate our lead to ensure them that, hey, you want to buy this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home for your babies to have their own room. We get that. We understand it. Let's see what we can do to make that happen. Let's walk through this together. So to make it a group process, like a collaborative event, will go a whole lot further than just telling them, these are all the things you need to do. Call this lender, get this done, and we'll talk when you're pre-approved. That doesn't always work. So gaining, oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm taking notes. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So gaining their trust will go a whole lot further and will make them want to change for you because they see, oh, Jennie has my best interest because she gets where I'm going and she wants to help me get there. And leads, motivation is always emotional. Motivation always ignites emotion. My coach, Anna Kruger, told me if your lead isn't crying, you probably didn't do it right. Because it's so emotional to get them started to buy their first home or to sell their family home because they're empty nesters. It's some emotion that goes behind that. And logic is always an afterthought. You may say, well, this is a no-brainer. You should do this, and this, and here's why. But because they're so emotional, they're not thinking of the logical explanation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope it does.
Oh, it
Perfect.
does. It does.
And it's super important to listen because they'll want to change for you, and their priorities will either be to avoid a loss or to get a potential gain. And if they feel that, hey, Jordan gets me, she understands the hurt, the pain that I'm going through, and this is why I need to make this change, they'll be a whole lot more open to move with you.
So you say that you're calling anybody and everyone. How are you it sounds like internet leads are coming into you. So those are inbound. Are you also prospecting to outbound? What tools and resources, I guess, is what I'm getting at, are you utilizing to have names and phone numbers?
Of course, we use Vulcan 7 as our dialer. And it is already set up with our zip codes went into our settings and put our service areas in there. So it pulls automatically for those for sale by owners, those off markets, canceled, and withdrawns for us to call through daily.
So now I know you're probably the lead. Are there multiple ISAs on your team right now that are calling?
Nope, I am the only ISA.
Only
we do have a couple agents that'll come hang out with me a few hours a week to
Okay.
be a temporary ISA and make calls, but I am the only official ISA.
Okay, that's super cool. So what does your daily calendar look like? I love a time blocked calendar. Let's hear it.
It's super time blocked. So from 8 to 9, that is my first power hour. So that's when I call all fresh incoming leads that have come in from the night before or the weekend if it's a Monday. 9 to 9:15, we have team power up where we go over scripts, objections, good things that have happened in the business, like share success stories. At about 9:15 to 9:30, that's where I catch up on anything, emails, the random stuff that has come up. Then I go into an additional power hour. So from 10 to 11, I am calling again nonstop.
Wow.
And then I spend, that's just the morning. That takes me right up to lunch. And the second half of the day is pretty much the exact same thing, where I will spend 2.5 to 3 hours in our CRM system, following up on any of those internet leads, following up with people that I have said, hey, I'll call you next week, whatever the case may be. And we use Berivity as our CRM system.
Right. And is that Monday through Friday?
Yes.
Same schedule? Unless
same
there's
schedule. The only adjustments is if we have meetings or if we travel or if something comes up, I do the same thing, just the times move around a little bit.
Any weekend work? Just curious.
Yes, some Saturdays, some Saturday mornings I will work, or some late nights will pop up where I'll do background things, what is typically more in the leadership role and not exactly making phone calls.
Right.
And speed to lead is important, right? And so obviously when we have leads that come in on a Saturday, so we've kind of divvied it out where Valencia will respond to something on a Saturday. And because she's a preacher's kid, she is heavily involved in the church. And so I'll take Sunday. So that's kind of been and if I'm preoccupied or something, we'll have like a contingency plan where an agent will take a lead, but we just had to work that out. But how frequently would you say that as Valencia? Are you tethered to your phone all day Saturday, or would you say that's only like 2 or 3 that are coming in on the weekends like that?
Yeah, maybe like 3 or 4 calls on a Saturday. So not tethered to it at all.
So Valencia, Jordan had shared with me that you set 80 appointments a month. What is the true definition of an appointment? And are those all sellers or buyers and seller appointments?
Of course. And it is a team driven. So collectively, our team, we all do it together. I won't say
Okay.
I do everything.
Okay.
It's a team. A true appointment, the definition of someone that agrees to have a conversation about their real estate goals and they're pre-qualified. Now, hey, I want to buy a house, but I have no income and my credit stinks. That's not an appointment. But if I have good credit, I'm open to talking to a lender. I have money for a down payment. That's an appointment for a buyer. That combination of 80 appointments is seller and buyers.
Yeah. Now I heard you say something like you do maybe some follow-up stuff. So you're in your database, you're working it just like an agent does if they're still in the role of being their main lead generator. So you're making the calls. Besides a call, what other touches are you applying? Do you guys apply action plans or smart plans, reminders? What is that? Walk me through what someone would get if they got captured into your web. What would that look like?
Okay, an internet lead automatically goes on an auto plan that we have created called the 10 Days of Pain, where they get a series of text messages, emails, and phone calls within the first 10 days, including listing alerts. Whether we know exactly what they're looking for their new home or not, they're going to get a series of emails about houses that are available. And I love it because whether it's right or wrong, they typically respond of, hey, I don't want a house in Bethany. I'm looking in Dallas. Great. I'm glad we can fix that for you. But they do get about 21 touches in the first 10 days. And it's a combination of emails, texts, and phone calls.
Do you find that people opt out, or are they, at least you're getting a response, so you're okay with that?
Yes. I'd rather you tell me jump off the curb than don't say anything at all.
So Jordan, from your perspective on the lead side of this, the leader side of this, where are opportunities for growth, or what have you guys learned over the years that you wish you had done sooner?
So I think the next opportunity for Valencia that we're working on is coaching, and we've developed out this coaching program of converting conversations, of taking everything that she's learned. And the best way, Jennie, the best way to learn is to teach, right? It causes you to go back through and look at what am I doing? And as you know, if you go teach and you're like, ooh, I haven't been nailing at that. It's very, what is the word I'm looking for? Like convicting of like, ooh, I haven't been nailing it at that. I need to go back and do that. So we know through experience that the best way in the world to learn is to teach. And so that's where coaching has come in, and it allows her to refine her skills and get better, but also to share and help the whole industry get better, which is, I think all of our goal, and pretty much a staple at Keller Williams. And so that's been a big next step and growth opportunity for Valencia that we're really excited about. And I know she's really excited about. Additionally, lessons learned or things we would have done better in the past. I would say the distraction part. I think, Valencia was a college athlete. And so when your coach says, hey, come do this, you're like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I think sometimes I would say, hey, we should do this, or what's going on here? Or what about this? What would that look like? And all too often, I think Valencia has accepted it from an authority, like, yes, absolutely. But it's been a distraction. And sometimes she doesn't protect her one thing that she needs to do, or the team will pull from her. So empowering her to actually tell other people no, because it doesn't protect what her bread and butter is and how she's going to make money, because she does want to help and be a team player and all those things that we look for in our organizations. But sometimes they can pull away from what brings her family money and what enables the team to be successful. Would you agree with that, Valencia?
Yes, I would agree. Learning to say no was a huge thing.
So everyone will want to know this, and maybe Jordan can share the details of how did you already knew she was talented, and so you really plugged her into a spot where you saw she would be talented. But pretend we don't have this role on our team right now. Who are they and how do we compensate them?
You mean what qualities are we looking for in that person for an ISA? Yeah. So we've had this conversation with the Wolek Group that there like is no direct disc personality or let's say KPA for an ISA. We've had high I's, high S's be successful. We've had high C's be successful. Like, I think it just depends on, what, I would say really qualities and characteristics, our work ethic, the ability to be told no and to move on. I think it takes one of the things that Valencia has is a really tough mentality. You can't break her. There's almost no call that she needs. I think I can think of 2 phone calls in 4 years that she's needed to come in my office and decompress from. And so she can be told no. She can be all day long and it doesn't break her. It doesn't hurt her. She's very tough mentally. I think that's a big thing. I don't know if that just cut me off. I think that's a big thing in mindset for an ISA. Additionally, I would say she's also kind of a conundrum in that Valencia can be alone and be told no and stay positive and keep going. Most inside sales agents that we've spoken to need to be paired up. And so I would highly recommend that, although we're kind of the anomaly for that. But I would highly recommend that ISAs be in groups of 2, or for example, there was a time when my husband would go in and lead generate with Valencia. We would kind of take shifts while she was learning, and my husband would go in and lead generate with her, an agent would go in and lead generate with her, and that would keep morale high. But I feel like we've moved past that. So I think that mental toughness is probably the biggest part, and then the ability to connect with other people. Here's another way that I think being a pastor's kid has benefited Valencia is when you feel like you're always on and you feel like you can mold to whatever environment needs to happen in the room. And she's been really good at doing that. So I feel like an actor, an actress, who understands how to mold to a role. But I think your time as a pastor's kid has probably helped you in that regard.
So how do we compensate or at least create the vision of future opportunity for people that we may want to put in this role?
Yeah. So for an ISA, I mean, I would highly recommend that you start at $2,000 a month, which is $24,000 a year. And then obviously you want to make sure they're licensed to be calling. And then what we do is we give them 10% of every transaction that they touch at all. So even if Valencia is nurturing somebody and they say, oh, I live in Granbury, and we're like, oh my gosh, Ann Putnam on our team lives in Granbury, you have to be talking to Ann. Valencia made that connection from her to Ann. And so she's still going to get compensated when Ann closes that transaction, even if the nurture relationship happens from Ann to that client. And so anything that Valencia touches, she is paid 10% on. And that for us, that comes off the top. So on the team, it's a 50-50 split. And that means that, let's say the total commission is $8,000, $800 goes to Valencia. And then the rest of the $7,200 is split 50-50. So it's almost like a referral fee. It comes off the top for her. Now, what that translates to for the agent, keep in mind, I didn't change the split to 50 team, 40 agent, 10 Valencia, because now the team sees Valencia as a penalty, right? Versus it's 5% from them and 5% from the team for Valencia. Well, 5% is a different ball game, and the team is equally as invested in tying in Valencia because we know it'll grow. And so I didn't stick that all on the agent as like a penalty. I took that on and took it off of the very top so that they would know that I see how when we involve Valencia, we will all go get more business. We will all grow. We all won't have sticky notes with leads everywhere we look. You know how agents do. And that's not a conducive way to run a. So by sharing that cost, it then shows the confidence that we have as a team in this process and in this position working for helping us all do more business.
Okay, so do your agents still need to lead generate?
Yes. So our agents still lead generate. A lot of it is through open houses. And we do, I know you and Jenny, you and I have talked about our open house plan. Like we do anywhere from 15 to 20 open houses a weekend as an organization that drives in 100 leads per weekend. And so, yes, they're still lead generating with there. They keep the top people, they star them and they keep them. And the rest they send over to Valencia to give a call and see if she can get through them and then put on a Brevity auto plan. But the agents still have lead generation that they're responsible for. Brevity is an incredible system and we're able to track everything and then see how many leads they're handling, what percentage have overdue tasks, who's not on a campaign, who doesn't have a market report and things like that. So yes, the agents are still responsible for lead generation. If they get a sphere lead that doesn't involve Valencia at all, then it's just they're straight 50-50. But they do see a value in, hey, 50% of my closings Valencia could be cultivating and I'm working on the other, and we all come out ahead.
Yeah, so they're seeing so much value in the relationship because like all things, she could have helped nurture something all the way from nothing, and then in others maybe they were passed quickly and went ahead and bought or sold. So I see the value on both of those. So as we wrap up here, let's say we're not ready for an ISA department. We don't have that in our budget or our plan. What can we share with solo agents or agents on teams? Like, what are the main conversations and how many conversations must they be making each day?
Yeah, Valencia, do you want to take that? Like, how many are your conversations per day to deem successful?
35. On average, I would talk to 35 people a day about real estate.
So you're in a role that's your number one job description. Mm-hmm. What if an agent is in the field as well and they've only got a couple hours?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I can say that 2 agents on our team have done it before. One agent has done it a couple times, a weekly basis where she would talk to 35 to 36 people a day. And she is leading a team within our team. And she is a full-time outside agent and does listing and buying buyers and still makes time to hit her 30 plus connects a day.
So and Jenny, I would say if somebody was just starting out, I mean, I think that 10 connects a day is a great, if you're not supporting a team, if you're not doing lead generation full time, I think 10 connects a day is a good measuring stick for getting where you're going. I think Ignite teaches, 10 new people added to your database, 10 notes, 10, text messages or whatever that is exchanged. But Bolt teaches us, 20 a day for a total of 100 a week. So I think if you're ramping up your business and you're ready to get into production fast, I would say 20 would be your magical number. If your business is kind of rolling and you're looking to make sure you're consistent in your lead gen, then I think 10 would do it.
So everything we've talked about here today is lead generating. It's our number one job description as real estate agents. And having conversations. They are the same, building relationships. Would you guys say that there's anything else that should be done first and foremost above lead generating?
No. It's our job. It's our number one job. Yeah, for sure.
That's the thing I was going for and the answer I was looking for, because no matter where you are, if you have a big team, you're in a team, whatever your situation is, we've got to be making contacts. And if you haven't gotten 10 in a day in a long time, just baby step it. Go back to, I'm going to have one great conversation per day and then build on that and build on that. Any other advice or things that we must talk about here?
Jenny, I think we should make lead generation sexy again. Like bring in sexy back. Like we should have shirts that are like, wake up, lead gen, do all the other things, go to bed, repeat. Like
yes, rinse and repeat are just the job descriptions over and over again. And even the energy plan on page 308, I'm just always referencing that from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. We've got to get in all 5 of those energies each day, and lead generation is one of them to help us have a super successful.
Did you add anything, Valencia?
No, not at all. I mean, if you want to learn more, converting conversations, Q1 is over. However, Q2 is getting ready to start. So if you're interested in learning more skills and even building the skills you already have, send us an email. We'd be more than happy to help you guys out.
I love it.
And Valencia, your conversion was like 4 times more appointments by month 3 that people were setting in a month, correct? I mean, it was pretty
Correct.
average of your Q1 results. Yeah. So people went from setting, let's say 4 appointments a month to 16 by the end of it.
I
Yes.
love it. So who are they going to send an email to learn more about this?
Of course, Valencia, VALENCIA at yourdavisteam.com.
Woohoo! Well, I think that's a great note to end on. I sure appreciate you girls. Have an amazing weekend. And I
You too. Happy Easter.
Yeah, you
Thank
too,
you so
guys.
much, Jennie.
Enjoy.
Look
the
at all of us
weather.
wearing our pink.
Love
Yes,
you guys.
happy Easter. Thank you.
Bye,
See
y'all.
ya. Bye.